Hi guys, and welcome back to Off the Record Podcast. I'm Halle Rehner. This is Natalie Ortiz. We are your hosts, and we got a whole lot of drama to talk to you guys about that happened this last week. We took a little tiny breaky break because we just had a lot of shit to do, and also it seemed so quiet out there. It didn't seem like there was a lot to talk about.
They were waiting for this week
to
pop off.
Yes, dude. So the craziest shit has been happening this week. So we have to talk to you guys about it. So we're gonna dive on into it. But really quick, make sure that you guys are hitting subscribe, commenting, liking, all that cool stuff, and letting us know, if you guys want to talk about other things or whatever in the comments. So we'll start with celebrity news first, and then we'll get into politics.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so this week actually kicked off the Diddy trial.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is right, girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, dude. It definitely started off, with a lot more momentum than I was expecting, to be 1,000%. I knew that this was going to be a big case.
Yeah.
I just did not think that they were going to bring in Cassie so soon.
Yeah.
To be totally honest.
Well, also, too, is I just, she's so pregnant.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I can't even imagine the emotional, toll this is all taking on her. For her to be so pregnant and then to have to talk about it and then get cross-examined, it's just, oh my gosh, my heart goes out to Cassie.
I know.
But I mean, she's standing up for herself, and I'm so, and probably so many other people of Diddy's victims, and shit.
Yeah.
That it's it's just, she's doing. She's doing
great
work.
Yeah, she's doing great so far. Of course, the internet went crazy, the moment that they started talking about her testimony.
Yeah.
And actually, there's actually some pretty detailed, reenactments or tweets of journalists being in the courtroom, so them just basically reiterating.
It's word by word. I've seen
almost,
that.
Yeah.
They're what is it?
Almost like
stenographers.
Yes, dude. They're on it. Those, and even the reporters. I'm y'all must have it on recording or something.
And then they're getting AI to just type it out for them because some of that I was looking
verbatim.
at, they're literally, but I'm sure they also probably have access to the court stenographers shit.
Maybe.
So I wonder if maybe they're just
possibly that could be it
from her. Yeah,
could be. But either way, we're getting a good amount of details. So far, prosecutors have detailed charges against Sean Diddy Combs, including sex trafficking and racketeering. And this is a big deal because this is a federal case. Yeah. So going against the feds on a RICO charge is a big deal. Almost like being John Gotti or being fucking Escobar or something like that. It's a big deal because a lot of times they go for a RICO because they're trying to find the money trail. They're trying to find how your organization isn't legit. It's actually illegal or having illegal activities that it is, that it's doing. So definitely so far it's been interesting. But I think that a lot of people are trying to say that they don't feel as though what they've seen so far constitutes as a RICO. But I think that we also have to be mindful that we're only on day 4. Day 1 was opening statements. Cassie was brought up and they talked about her lawsuit and about the settlement and, about the money that she made from it, basically. Then on day 2 was when Cassie went on the stand. She gave her testimony and she basically started describing the freak-offs. And she was saying that they were drug-fueled sex parties that she was coerced into. And then that she recounted that in 2012 there was an overdose at the Playboy Mansion by her. She overdosed at the Playboy Mansion. And in 2018 she said there was an actual rape incident. So in 2016 there is that video of Diddy assaulting her. That's the hotel one. Yeah. Exactly. So basically what they're trying to present is that they did have a long relationship, but that pretty much after, I would say, they're trying to say, like, after, like, the first year to 6 months or so, that's when things started turning more violent, more dark, and sinister. Now, on day 3, her testimony continued, and she basically testified that both of them were jealous. So she admitted that at the beginning of their relationship, she thought it was just the two of them, that they were monogamous, especially because he kept saying that he wanted that from her. So she assumed that it was the same thing on both sides.
Yeah.
Then after a while of being together, then she found out about him still being involved with one of his baby moms, Kim Porter. And also, at the time, she was just a girlfriend, Gina. I don't want to mispronounce her name. I want to say her last name is like Huen, like Gina Huen, something like that. But at the time, Gina was not one of his kids' moms, but now she is. So at the time, basically, Cassie was explaining that yes, there was this thought of monogamy between them, but she realized that that was not true when she found out about his other partners. And that same thing for him. He became very jealous once she decided, okay, you're out here playing the field, I'm going to start playing the field again as well. He apparently became very, very jealous, and it actually resulted in an alleged incident between him and Kid Cudi. So, and more specifically, him and Kid Cudi's car. Apparently, Cassie and Diddy were dating. Cassie wanted to get away from him because she said that she was feeling a lot of toxicity happening. The freak-offs were happening. She was feeling pressured into them. She wanted to escape. So she apparently told him that she was going to go out of town on business, but instead she flew home to her hometown to go see her parents and to go meet up with Kid Cudi. The two of them are having their own relationship on the side. She's explaining to him that she is afraid of Combs and what he'll do. And I guess that basically, like, she knows that Combs is not going to just let this go. Diddy found out about the situation, and he basically had told her, like, I'm going to do something to his fucking car if you keep fucking around with him. And then, coincidentally enough, Kid Cudi's car blew the fuck up.
Oh shit! I didn't even know. Fuck up. Whoa! Yes. I was thinking he what did he vandalize it or something?
No.
I'm like, okay, do something to his car then, bitch. He blew it up?
Girl, he ain't put no sugar in the tank. He strapped a bomb to it.
Yeah, he didn't fucking slash the tires.
Yeah, no.
That's crazy.
He's insane.
Oh,
yes.
shit.
So then once that happened, she definitely backed off. Now, I don't remember I don't know if they got very detailed about the car blowing up, but I always knew that was in court documents. So I'm sure they discussed it.
Yeah.
Because also Kid Cudi has been subpoenaed. So we will be hearing him on the stand very soon.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So that was just on day 3. They also discussed her drug use. And I guess apparently she was trying to say that it was Diddy who got her into using drugs and being kind of dependent on it to do their freak-offs.
Yeah, because it's, I mean, from what we've heard happens at these freak-offs, like, you have to be on drugs, I think, to be doing all that. And also, too, it's like, if it was something that she didn't necessarily want to do to begin with, it would be so easy to just take drugs and, like, numb yourself to get through it. A lot of people I've seen in, like, some comments and stuff here and there have been like, oh, well, like, from the text messages or whatever, it's like, oh, well, it sounds like she likes it. It's like, well, if that type of man who has, like, hurt you before and, like, you've seen him violent, I would be acting like I fucking love that shit too. You know what I mean? Like, I would be playing the fucking part because if I knew what he was capable of, you know what I mean? So it's really, like, crazy to see people saying, like, oh, well, I'm like, you haven't lied to a bitch before?
Oh, yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. Like, okay, please.
You know how many people have said I've loved them?
Man, that is one. Or even
but I'm just like, you know what I mean? It's like,
for example, like there's times that, like, maybe your partner is wearing something or something, and they're like, what do you think? And you want to be like, that is hideous. But you know that's just going to cause an argument, and that's going to cause us to be in this house for another 20 minutes rather than be in the car on the way to the function. Yeah. So what am I going to say? It looks great. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Let's magnify that times a fucking million.
Yes.
Right? And it's like, again, I think we talked about this in the last episode too, but of like, I think when we were talking about the Lizzo stuff, where it's like, with women, we're constantly put into positions of being uncomfortable. And I think that it takes a lot of courage to, and you and I were just talking about this about her working in downtown LA. Like, never be nice. Be polite. But once you're fucking nice, they're like, oh, she wants to fuck me. Or whatever. So it's like, you have to constantly walk this line of kind of just being, like, appeasing this other person for the sake of, like, not getting hurt. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I think that, again, once you get put into positions with, like, abusive relationships and stuff, the lines become so fucking blurred. And, like, what you'll do and what you'll take becomes, like, a whole other realm of, like, so sitting here on the outside is like, I could never want... She let someone pee in her mouth. She wanted it. It's like, no... It's just, it doesn't really work like that, you know? And it's just like, even...
I also believe, I wholeheartedly believe in me trying, or people in general. Let's not say me, because I wouldn't go that far with it.
Trying it? Not at least once type shit? Is that what you were going to say?
Hell.
Okay, I was like... No. Okay, I guess, yeah, absolutely. I guess I see where you're coming from, but I don't...
That will never be my jam. But... But what I was going to say was, I can understand two people experimenting.
Yeah.
And at the time, you're a little bit, like, excited to experiment. And not maybe that. Like, I can understand them being, like, doing some things, them two, in the bedroom. And her kind of getting into it. And then him introducing, like, oh, drugs as well. Like, da-da-da. And her being like, oh, this is a different thing. And it being fun, it being different. And then I can also understand where it becomes too much. Where, like, they're now adding in things where you're like, that's not... Like I have a limit. Like, I will try some things with you, but, like, that's not how far I want to go. Or I will experiment with it, but if I don't really like it, I don't see myself doing it again. I can understand people being open to the idea of just experimenting sexually, especially with a partner that you've been with. You think that we're great, everything's going good. And then at a certain point, you being uncomfortable. I think that there's always going to be room and space for you to change your mind.
Yeah, like withdrawal consent.
Yes, and just like you said with the Lizzo thing, exactly, like where you said, like, yes, you could go to the strip club with everybody, think that it's going to be a hoot, and then you get there, and you feel uncomfortable because the strippers are pressing up on you, or it's just not your vibe, or whatever it is, and you deciding, you know what, now I'm not comfortable, I do want to leave, or whatever. The thing is, though, about that situation in Cassie's is that the prosecution is definitely trying to paint the picture of, it wasn't so simple as her being like, I'm just going to break up with this guy and I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
No, one, he's already very possessive. Two, if she's already supposed to be signed to him and his team, how can I just break your heart and think that I'm still going to get my deal? How am I still employed to you? You know what I mean? Like, this blurs so many lines that honestly would have been prevented if they never started dating. But it was just too late at that point. Like,
and also too, I feel like even there are so many people that do like the poop and pee stuff. I feel like it's not even about the poop and pee stuff. It's about, which I don't even know if there's poop stuff. I'm sure there was, but it's like, it's more of the point of it being like under the guise of like manipulation and coercion, right?
Yeah.
And like what's gonna happen if she doesn't do this, or if she doesn't act like, so it's not even about like, oh my god, that's so nasty, how could she like something in her mouth or whatever. It's like, no, it's the fact of like everything else surrounding it, and her feeling possibly forced to even have done that, or like know that if she says no, whether she did or didn't want to do it, that she doesn't feel safe enough to express if she didn't like it. So I think that's also a big thing, is like, if you're not safe enough to even know if you want to do it or not, then that's already like coerced.
Yeah.
In some type of way, you know?
Exactly. And I think that a lot of people continue to look at his money and be like, no, she stayed so he would give her money, so he would, you know, buy her shit. And I'm also like, can't you also see his money as the tool that he was going to use to torture her? Not in saying like he was dangling the carrot in front of her. No, what I'm saying is, if you have an unlimited amount of money, you can hire security guards, hire people to watch you, hire people to watch somebody, hire people to intimidate them. You know what I mean? Like, you can do all types of, you can fly anywhere in the world and show up at their place. You know what I'm saying? And then there's so many people that you've hired to protect your image and all types of things. I just think that people really look at the situation very black and white. And I'm like, motherfucker, if you've never dealt with a rich nigga like this, I want you to just trust me when I say it's probably not nearly as simple to walk away from him as it is anybody else. He is not an easy breakup. He doesn't seem like it. He seems like an actual psycho. And he had the money.
Yeah, and if it's hard enough to, like, get away from these broke-ass dudes, how the fuck do you think is someone like Diddy, who has power, so much power, not even just money. Like, he has so much influence, and we're barely scratching the surface of seeing how far his influence has gone. Right. I feel like, I don't know, I didn't really know too much about Diddy. I know he did, like, Making the Band. I think that was, like, my earliest kind of introduction to him. But, like, I didn't know, I mean, the stuff that they're also alleging, too, it's like, it's really scary, like, alleging about Kim Porter's death, like, certain stuff like that is just, like, it really just makes you wonder, like, how powerful is this guy really to have gotten away with just all of this shit. And how many celebrities, I think this is the thing too, it's like, how many celebrities know not to talk about Diddy, or like, you're seeing all this stuff pop up now where people are talking about him, and then you see the other people being like, oh. So how long has this been going on? Obviously a long time. Where so many people have known the details of a lot of this stuff, but have not said anything, or even just maybe the couple people that have said something, and they've like, and
people don't believe them, or
something happens to them, they get
or like they're silenced or exactly. Did you ever hear about the story of how he almost went to jail for shooting somebody?
No.
Did he?
Did he? No.
No? Okay. Well, let me just, I have to tell you that story. Okay. You have to know that story. Okay, really quick, let me just recap day 4, and then I gotta tell her. I gotta tell you all, because if she doesn't know, I'm sure someone out there also doesn't know. Diddy almost went to jail for shooting a woman in her face.
Oh,
and
what the fuck?
He blamed it on one of his music artists at the time. Okay. And that person went to jail for his...
Whoa!
Yeah, dude. So I'm just like, let's also remember, he has covered some shit up before, and it worked it worked out amazing for him, and for everybody else not so much. So that's why I'm also like, I really feel as though some folks out there are being like intentionally obtuse, because I'm bitch, you just don't fully understand or remember those very important stories. So last thing, day 4 of the trial. This actually, when we're recording this, it's about day 5, but we're not even going to touch that right now. Day 4 is cross-examination. So Cassie is still on the stand, but instead Diddy's team is now questioning her. And the defense attorneys basically were presenting a lot of messages between the two, especially explicit messages between them, in which Cassie and Combs were suggesting consent. So, for example, one big one that they brought up was the fact that he brought up, like, hey, you know, can we do a freak off? Like, I would really love to set up a freak off. Do I have your permission to set one up? And she answered back to him, ovulation, as in, like, I'm ovulating right now. And I believe then he responded back, like, okay, like, you know, something like, I think that he said something along the lines of, like, we can wait, or something like that, or something along that route. And she basically had just said, like, I mean, I'm still open to it, but it can't be the explicit stuff that we normally do. Like, I guess she told him, like, I'll kiss the other person, but I'm not having sex with them.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. So to the defense, they're like, well, this is a situation where you put your foot down about you don't want to have sex with anyone during the freak off, and he respected it. So why are you saying that you never had control? And it's like, well, I think also it can be true that if you tell a man I'm ovulating, he's gonna have some type of sense in being like, well, let's try not to get you knocked up by the escort.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, so they basically are, yeah, the defense is definitely trying to use her words against her. And don't get me wrong, some of it is a little bit damning. Like, you know, she admits in the messages she shows signs of being jealous of him being with other people. In the messages, she does talk about the freak offs. Like he says something about wanting to do the freak offs, and her being like, yeah, I know, me too. I want to be uncontrollable. So things like that, where it's starting to make it seem like Cassie had a lot more say in this than she's willing to admit. But Cassie maintained that her actions were driven by fear and manipulation, which I think that they're doing a pretty good job of representing that.
I still
decent job.
I still believe that 100%, even with the text messages and stuff. You know, like, I still believe her that.
Me too. And I also looked at this video. So there's this video that they dropped of, I believe it was like in 2017, maybe 2018, of, I guess, like them pulling up to a birthday party for him or something like that. And like they had like music going and everyone's outdoors, whatever. And when the two of them come up, you can kind of tell that she's a little bit confused about what's going on. But then she's like looking over at him and he's like excited. He's feeling it, you know. And I feel as though she's picking up on his cues of being like, okay, so I feel like she almost like kind of waited for him to give her the okay to dance and to enjoy it. Because if you also look at like the there are some messages between them or like conversations that she has brought up saying that if she did not have the reaction or the facial reaction that he wanted to see, it would be her ass. Like, he would beat her up.
That's so scary. It's like, I think if anyone has ever like been in that type of relationship where it's like you just show the wrong thing and you just see their face and you're like, fuck, I fucked up. And then just by like something simple. So again, it's like you're on this emotional like wave of trying to match their every move, their every emotion, all of their energy. Like, you have to be constantly reading them for your safety, right? And for your survival. It's like, you have to know, oh shit, he's upset, you know, because you got to start plotting on how fuck you could possibly get out of this or make it better or whatever. And so it's like, that makes so much sense that she's trying to read what his you know, shit is, so that she can match it so that she doesn't get in trouble.
Yes. And I swear, like, people, you guys really need to go watch that video again. If I can find it, I'll even put it on the screen somewhere. But I had to watch it a couple times to find the part where I'm like, oh no, I see it. It took me a while, but it's like they're dancing or whatever, and then like he walks to go talk to somebody, and she's in the behind, and she's like readjusting her hat or whatever, and it was almost one of those situations. You ever seen someone who's like, hey, ha ha ha, and then someone turns around and they're like, that's literally what happened. Like, he turned around, her face drops, she gets some water, she's looking around, she's finally, you could tell she's finally now looking like around and being like, okay, who is here? Like, what is going on? Then when he turns back around, she's like, you're just like, oh, bitch, like, you're acting your ass off. You are scared. Yes, you could tell that it was very weird. And then like she just jumps right back into character so well. I think I could totally understand how people might be like, oh, you're reaching or whatever. But honestly, like, I can absolutely believe, watching that video for myself, I believe it. I truly do. Now, another reason that I believe that Diddy is partly the monster that people say that he is. I don't know the full extent, but I do believe that he is not a good person, because back in the day, he had a bunch of different artists, but one of them was named Shine. Him and Shine were really close. One day they went to the club together. It was actually around the time that Diddy and J-Lo were dating each other. So all of them went to the club. Apparently, there was a woman there that had beef with Diddy or Shine or both of them. Not really sure why they had a problem with her, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Apparently, they get into an argument, and Diddy and this woman are arguing with each other. And it gets so bad, it gets so crazy and heated that they pull out the straps. So Shine pulls out his shit, Diddy pulls out his shit, and they shoot this woman in the club with all these people around. Whoa. This is not something that is like possibly did happen in a back room. No, this happened in the middle of both shot her, so the room. Shots? The both of them shot her. There were multiple shots.
Whoa.
Yes. Thing is though, the shot that nearly killed her, the first one that ran off or rang out, was from Diddy. Uh-huh. So she got shot up. They both shot at her, but Diddy was the initiator.
Did she have a gun too?
I don't believe she did. I gotta go back to the story and understand why they felt they needed to be violent towards her. Yeah. But either way, they did, and thankfully, she did not die. However, it was like an attempted murder case at that point.
Yeah. You can't shoot someone and it not be fucking attempted murder.
Yes. So at the time, I believe that the both of them were getting investigated. However, Shine was Diddy's artist, so Diddy was basically like, look, you take this shit, allegedly was like, you take this shit from me, and I will take care of your career, I'll take care of your people, I'll break you off. You just ride this out for me.
When you get out?
Yes, you ride this out for me. Now, I guess Shine was considering it, was considering doing it. What made this not even a situation that was in his control, though, was the fact that, I guess, Diddy's lawyers decided to turn on Shine. They all flipped on him. Yeah. So basically, it was like, no other choice. You're falling for this no matter what. Yeah. We're going to put all of it on you. They tried to say that it was only Shine who shot the woman. They went back, and here's another thing that was also interesting. I really truly believe that there was witness tampering with that case as well, which they were also accusing Diddy of doing in this case, because that woman at first had said that the both of them shot her, and then she flipped the story to saying that it was just Shine who shot her. Yeah. Now, years later, after Shine went to jail for this, he went to jail, he did a good amount of time. I want to say he did something about at least 10 years, something like that. And then finally he got out of jail, and then he ended up just leaving America. It's like, I'm fucking out of here. He left America, and now he's like a freaking mayor or governor somewhere, like in the Dominican or something. He's an actual politician somewhere. Wow. And he is like on the up and up. He's straight and narrow, nothing to do with Diddy or music or anything. Yeah. But it's just so interesting how people forget about that story altogether. Like, that is a huge example. And actually, since this whole thing came up, Shine has been coming out, and he reiterated that he was never the one who initially shot that woman. He was not the one who was trying to kill her. Diddy shot her in the face. Like, he was really trying to end her.
What was the other shot?
I guess, like, on her chest and, like...
Oh, I mean... You know,
not that it's much better. Not that it's much better.
You shoot someone, you were also trying to kill her. But also, yes, Diddy was also trying to kill her.
My thing is, the both of them should have been in jail.
Yeah.
That's really the moral of the story. I agree. Shine should have...
Shut up.
Put him under the jail. Yeah. But also put Diddy next to him, is what I'm saying. Yeah. So, I just feel as though people need to be mindful of that. Of like, okay, I get it. He made some hits. We get it, people. But let's not also forget that there are situations, there are stories where people have said he was not a Boy Scout at all. Yeah. At all. So, we'll see what happens. A lot of people online are skeptical that the prosecutors are doing a good job with the case. They feel as though
it's hard.
It's not
hard too. I mean,
yeah, but I think also they need to realize that, like, if you pull out Cassie first day, second day, as the first witness, buddy, you must have a whole lot of other people to give the final knockout punches.
Also, too, they said something about hoping that this to finish this cross-examination or finish this part with Cassie as soon as possible because she's about ready to give birth.
And I think that makes sense too.
So I think it could also be like they're having her go first because she's gonna have her fucking baby.
That would make sense.
And then what?
That would totally make sense.
They lose her, or they have to wait or whatever. Like, I don't know.
I think I feel like that's a completely valid point. So yeah, so if anything, I am actually kind of happy that they got Cassie out the way. And now I'm hoping that she can stop being dragged into it as the main person who was accusing him. And instead now we will see
everybody else. I want to know what everybody else has to say about him. I want to know. I want to know everything. Did you hear about his girls being in the courtroom and then something they left, right? They had to leave the courtroom. Imagine being those kids and hearing them. Oh man.
But they
probably had to know their dad was on some type of freaky shit.
I was gonna say,
but they probably had no idea
it was that level.
Fucking insane.
I would not ever want to know no fucking shit like that, ever. Yeah. But I also am I also can. I honestly believe though that if Diddy is as toxic and as volatile as they say that he is,
they would have seen it. They could have
seen it. They would have at least seen his temperament. Yeah. I feel like everyone's seen his temperament. Come on, if anybody wants to just go see his temperament, look at any of them making the bands. Yeah. Any of them, and that was just a fraction, and that was with his TV crew. So just imagine when the cameras were off, he was probably 1,000 times worse. So. Yeah, that shit is wild to me, but I cannot wait to see what else because I really believe that more people will start to really take this more seriously because so many people online are just like, Cassie could have left, she could have left, she could have left. Look, excuse me.
Not that simple.
I ain't never tried to leave a billionaire before, but I have a good feeling that it was not going to be easy. Yeah. I tried to leave a nigga who had barely anything in his bank account.
Yep.
This shit was not easy.
How long did that take you, bitch?
Had to change my phone number. I had to move.
Yeah.
Come on.
You're still knocking at your motherfucking door, bitch.
Still hitting me up on the gram talking about we could be a thing. No, we can't. So come on. I can absolutely believe you trying to get away from a dude and he is not going for that shit. Yeah. Come on. Who can?
Motherfuckers are crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It was really wild to me is all the women that are like, I just don't believe her, I just don't care. It's why? Because you swear it couldn't happen to you? Bitch, bye. Yeah. Bitch, bye. I honestly believe that anybody has a number. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that you should sell yourself for a number. What I'm saying is that you would consider dating a motherfucker for an amount. And then if you found out he was crazy afterwards, I'm sure you would regret it too. I'm sure you would regret it. You'd be like, wow, the money is helping, but fuck. I hate him.
I think...
I shouldn't have done this.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe because I'm very much, I don't like getting anything from anybody anyways.
Okay.
I think I've always been a very much I don't need shit from nobody. So the couple of guys that I have talked to who have had money, it's been so hard for me just to accept anything. And the second I find something off, I'm like, no, absolutely not. Just because you have money, bitch, no way. Or something like that. But that's because it's I feel like for me, I mean, maybe it's also because of how I was growing up and shit, but I need so much more than what finances can give to me.
Okay.
Quality time. Communication.
Yeah, absolutely.
Priceless.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm
but imagine if a dude was giving you those things, plus he had money. I feel as though in your mind you're like, wow, what a catch. This guy sounds great.
But also,
I'm gonna date him. And then you start dating him and then you realize he's crazy. Then you're like,
here's the thing, though.
Whoops.
Is I feel like most of the time the crazy doesn't just outright come out.
It doesn't.
It slowly fucking... So
it leaks out.
It leaks out as they're webbing into you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing pops out and you're like, I don't really like that, but I like all of this other stuff, so it's okay. And then the next thing, it's like, okay, well, that doesn't happen that often, and I also love all this other stuff, so it's okay.
Yeah.
And when it's weaved and webbed into a lot of other positive things, then it really does become one day, now you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
How did I get here to here? And it's because of the little moments of lies and manipulation and of craziness, of jealousy, of rage, where you saw little glimpses of it, but it was never enough to make you say goodbye, because it's hard to, like, it's so hard just to be like, then you're made to feel like you're a bitch for doing, or you could just leave someone so easy, means you never love them in the first place. It's like, so it's like you want to try, and especially as women, I feel like we give so much, so it's like you want to keep whatever, or you like kind of throw things off or whatever, and you're just like brush it off. But so I think, again, it's like a lot of this type of shit is weaved in, where you don't just see that he doesn't just outright hit you one day. Right. Maybe he started just screaming at you, or he raised his voice at you the next day, the next week, or whatever. He called you a bitch. Then everything's good. Then the next day, maybe he like slammed the door really hard, threw something on the floor. You know, months later, then it pushed you. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, whatever. And then a year, maybe nothing happens for a year, and then, you know, you're getting dragged out the fucking hotel room or some shit. So again, it's like the way that abusive relationships happen, for the most part, it's never just fucking good one day, bad the next.
Right.
It's like the pattern, and it's the slow reel in of manipulation and gaslighting and all this bullshit and anger that then end up turning on you. It's like they get you where they want you.
Exactly. And we also don't know. I mean, we only saw one incident of her trying to leave. That's another thing that I'm just like, all these people are like, why did she just fucking go?
You saw her get dragged back?
I mean, like,
are we her get dragged back?
Same footage? Like, what do you mean? She did. Yeah. So yes, literally trying to take the fucking elevator to leave. Yeah. And y'all, that's just not good enough for you guys. So that's why I just be like, man, the internet sometimes is just really, really ruthless, and y'all just really try and paint it to be so simple. Yeah. So easy. Yeah. It's not.
It's not.
Now, we also got to talk about another situation that unfortunately involved domestic violence, apparently. But this one, I think, was even more so left field for a lot of people, because these two are not currently together, and because I just feel like they are, in their own ways, like, sometimes like media sweethearts, especially Halle. So basically, Halle Bailey and DDG are having this custody battle go on, and it is just getting really, really bad, because now Halle Bailey has asked for a restraining order against him. It has been granted, and she also asked for full custody of their child, and it was also granted. Now, this was all because
temporarily granted, right? The sole custody.
I just don't know how long. Yeah. I don't know. All the reports that I kept seeing kept just making it sound very indefinite. But I mean, but you're right. No, you're right. No, you're right. It does say temporary. You're right. Water bottle. Sorry. Sorry, guys. But yeah, no, you're right. It is a temporary restraining order, and I guess sole custody right now. I don't know. I'm sure they're going to reassess it later. So basically what happened was Halle had filed this in court, and it finally, you know, she got all of her requests granted, and then it hit the internet, and everybody knows that DDG is very, very involved with his kid, like he wants to be. He is so obsessed with his son Halo, their son. And
I didn't know that.
Oh man, oh my gosh. So
I know he talks about him a lot, but I also know that talking about him and actually being there can be very different things. So
I agree.
I agree.
But well, it has come off as though he definitely wants to be in his kid's life. He always is talking about him, and then if he does have his kid, he always has his kid on the stream.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just seems that like he's always been excited about being a dad. I mean, when they first found out that they were pregnant, I mean, she was on privacy mode. She was like, I don't want anybody in my business. I don't want anyone disturbing me. We're not telling anybody. Him, on the other hand, he immediately jumped on the internet. I mean, the ultrasound, he posted a photo of the ultrasound as a practical joke.
He's used to sharing his whole life with the internet. It's really hard to just turn that off.
Right.
And then also something huge like having a baby.
I think also, to be totally honest, I don't really even see it so much as him being like, hey guys, here's my internet family being a part of this whole situation. I honestly feel like DDG is very much one of those people who's actually really good at marketing. He's like a natural marketer. He is probably one of the originators of rage baiting, of clickbaiting people.
Yeah, that makes
sense. He is always making up some scenario, like making up a story, or like making it extra. Like that's just what a lot of these streamers do. They know what their job is. I need to make something interesting. I need to make a story out of nothing. And so he's done a lot of that in his past. So I also understand him seeing the correlation of, if I reveal more, I get paid more because I get bigger streams and whatever the fuck, more controversy. So so I think that for him, this whole situation, him from the jump, this was about, yes, being a father, but also if he can get some streams up, why not? It'd be beneficial on both ends.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we just saw a stark difference between the way they were handling their whole relationship from the jump. Then now, fast forward to them being broken up, the baby's here, they keep going back and forth about it. Like, he's always talking about, oh, I can't go see him, she won't let me go over. I remember he brought up the whole situation like at the beginning of the year, January, February, saying that like him and that the baby, Halo and Halle, were sick, and that he went over to go get the baby, and she decided that she didn't want the baby to leave the house because of how bad his sickness was. And like that was, one of his first examples to show to us, like, she keeps the baby away from me, and it's unfair because I can also do for him as a parent. I can also take care of him, but it's very much whatever she says goes. Yeah. And so, he's been showing us that there's been tension in the relationship for a while. Now, with this situation, though, it definitely took a turn because all of a sudden, she has filed all of this stuff against him in May, when she's saying that all these incidents happened months ago. So the first incident she's saying happened in January, in which she alleges that DDG slammed her face into a steering wheel during a custody exchange that chipped her tooth. And that's terrible. Like, that sounds horrific. I mean, she even took like photos of alleged bruises of her arms from the incident, of the chipped tooth. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like the whole fucking tooth was knocked out of her mouth, okay? Let's be very clear about that. And she didn't have a black eye. She had bruises on her arm that showed that someone grabbed her very, very strongly, and that there was a small chip at the bottom of her tooth, okay? But it still showed proof that they had been physical. So in March, there was an incident where apparently DDG allegedly entered Halle's home without permission, went upstairs to her bedroom, and took a photo of her bed. I'm guessing maybe the sheets were not done, like the bed was not made or something, but basically he took a photo of it, sent her a message saying, what he said was basically like, oh, I see how you've been getting down. It was something like, I see what's been going on, or I see how you're getting down now. I see what you're doing nowadays. Something like that is what he said. Now, they were not dating at this time, but I think also it was one of those like salty, like, I see why you're not taking me back. because you must be messing with another nigga, kind of a thing. Or you're messing with another dude. Yeah, literally. And people online are trying to say, like, well, technically, he gave her that house. I don't know. I truly don't know. I don't fucking know if he bought the house and he gave it to her. Either way, like, don't do that shit.
He literally, I do feel like he's, like, the type of dude, though, that's, like pokes the bear just as, like, as a joke. Just because he thinks, like, getting her mad or, like, pissing her off is gonna... Sorry.
That
was a little one I did.
Yeah, you definitely did.
The big one is still around here. Sorry, that was crazy. Anyways. Yeah, he seems like the type where he's, like, pokes the bear just as, like, a joke because he thinks making people mad and, like, getting like you were saying, like, rage baiting type shit is funny to him. And, like, messing with people's emotions and shit is funny to him. So it does seem like, and I don't even, like, know too much about him. Just, like, the little bit that I do know and the little bit that I have seen is just, like, bro, like, a lot of this stuff, it's, like, it's people's lives, you know? So it's, like, he's, like, just being... it's just immature.
To him, it's like just content. It's to everybody else, it's serious. It's like, why the fuck would you do some shit like that?
It's immaturity at its finest. And again, it's like trying to, like, rage bait people is so... It's so triggering because I feel like that it's called reactional abuse. And it's when someone does something to you to get that reaction out of you and then blames you for their reaction. So, like, my whole last relationship, like, my whole relationship with my ex and shit, it's like, again, yeah, you do this stuff, you poke the bear, and when I finally, like, I'm like, holy shit, this isn't okay, then it's like, oh my god, you yelled at me, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're this, and then it twists everything on its fucking head.
You're the bad guy.
And I feel like that is just so fucked up to do to people. It's just like...
Yeah.
So, him starting shit, or, like, again, rage baiting her, just doing the digs too, the doing stuff that he knows she's uncomfortable with or whatever. It's like he's just doing shit to get a reaction out of her, and then he's using that to make her look like the villain, in my opinion. Because we're not in their relationship with them, we don't know what's actually going on, but it's just, you can tell guys like that.
Yeah, and honestly, to be honest, I think that the both of them have some toxicity going.
And I'm sure
1,000%.
She probably wouldn't have been attracted to him really that much if she didn't like a little bit of that, a little bit of it, and we all do a little bit, you know.
It depends. I feel like there's degrees to it. There's degrees, yeah. So I think maybe they were able to kind of see each other on that, because I 1,000% agree with you. He's very much that type of person, and I also think that I think that she kind of comes off a little bit more as somebody who is used to running the show, is used to being like, what I say goes. Yeah. And I'm not saying this as though, like, you know, trying to bash her at all. It's actually just from, like, what she's also said about herself. I remember there's this clip of her and her sister, and they're talking about their styles of dating, like who they are as a girlfriend. And Halle has no apprehension of saying, like, I am toxic as fuck. I want to know where you're at all times. I want to know what time you're coming home. I want to know who you're hanging with, who's all there. Like, drop your location. Like, she said, like, I have no shame being all up in your business and running the show. She's like, and I never will. So I honestly do think that it was fun and games when they first probably got together, but it really turned left just as quickly.
Because when you bring kids into the situation, it becomes so much more than any of this. It's, and also what normally does end up happening is what the mom says goes. Like, that's normally what ends up happening. So when it's time for, you know, on the dad's side to try to fight that, it's gonna be a lot harder for the dude to come out and get his voice heard in that aspect, because everyone kind of always assumes the mother knows best and the mother is gonna do what's right, and that's not always the case. I don't even know if that's the case here, because I feel like she's probably doing a good job raising their kids, or their kid and whatever. But it's like, I've also known some bitches who, like, where I'm like, bro, I'm like, shit, if I had that, your baby daddy, though, no, like, I would be grateful, motherfucker. Are you kidding me? I'm like, I don't give my baby daddy shit for anything, and I'm over here like, he actually wants to see your kid. Let him, bitch. Let him. He worked. Like, I don't understand.
Right.
So there's stuff for, and Ava's dad is great now. I'm just gonna put that. My daughter's dad is great now. There were saying in the beginning that, you know, we wish all could have been different, but yeah, now he's great. Now he steps up. Now he helps. But yeah, there have been times where it's like, I've been like, bitch, you don't know how good you have it. You have someone who actually wants to, like, work stuff out with, like, and be there for your kids. And because at the end of the day, what's happening here doesn't fucking matter. It's what's happening with the kid.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you need to put your beef aside with the parent, the other parent, as hard as that is, because you need to decide what's right for the kid.
Right.
And that's
1,000%.
it at the end of the day. And unfortunately, there's just so many people that, I don't know, just be careful who you guys have kids with. That's all I gotta say.
Seriously. Like, be so careful and really, really think about it. Like,
especially we're learning about how bad birth control is for you.
Don't even get me started, guys. Don't even get me started. I'm like on this whole battle with my birth control. It is, like, it is crazy. Protect your fucking womb. I really thought that I was protecting the fuck out of my womb, and I went to the upteenth power.
You were doing a thing, and you're protecting yourself and your life.
Yeah.
To not have, you know, kids before you're ready, or your hormones and whatever, and then now it's like, fuck.
To girl boss too hard.
Yeah.
Way too hard.
Shit.
But seriously, like, just, I think another thing is that, like, I didn't really trust myself too much about making the right decision on my partner, to be 1,000%. Like, when I put my IUD in, I was like, still.
You put it in God. Well, yeah, at that point, I agree. I still feel like I'm making terrible decisions. I'm like, why the fuck did I do that? I'm 30.
I should have just tried to practice more self-control rather than be like, oh, go on birth control and then you can date whoever, do whatever, and not have to worry about it, having a child. It's like,
there's so much other stuff you have to worry about.
There is.
We weren't told about. That we were not told about. And I feel like we should maybe do a whole separate episode.
Yeah, we can talk about
that. Just specifically on
totally
that for women, because I feel like we can go through our experiences with birth control and, like, just that in general, and I think that could be helpful, because I feel like there's not a lot of shit out there. Now we're finally starting to hear about the negative effects long term of birth control that weren't out there when we were in our early 20s. So now we're in our 30s, we're feeling the effects of that negatively, and it's like, I think it's good to talk about it, because they're still prescribing birth control like it's fucking candy. Acne, birth control. Depression, birth control. Like, what?
Yeah.
Weight, birth control.
Everything, yeah, especially for
mood
women.
swings, birth control.
Never, dude.
What?
Never. It's
What?
always women.
Yeah. So
I agree. I really hope that they get their whole situation figured out.
Yeah.
Wishing them the absolute best. I do believe that we need to believe women, but I also believe that us women gotta stop believing in these clowns.
Yeah. Amen.
Dead ass.
Hallelujah.
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 Oh my god, you know
what the hell? What the helly?
What the helly? Yo,
what the heliante? Shit is so
literally, I wish that song was out when they got together, because when I tell you, I just kept looking at my phone like, what the heliante is going on? I don't understand. I really thought it was a prank. I really did. I was like, there's no way she is stooping as low.
I think at first I was like, who?
It's him.
And then
and then you were like,
I was like, I think maybe we've heard one song.
Ugh. Yeah, literally. Okay, anywho, guys, so let's move on from celebrity news. Let's get into politics.
The lighter news this week, the politics.
Actually, yeah, it was kind of more than lighter news out of everything.
Well, this first one you're about to say pisses me the fuck off.
Why? I'm happy.
No, of course, but we could have seen it coming a mile of fucking way. Again, stock market manipulation at its fucking finest. Tell him, Halle.
This is true.
Tell him.
Okay. So what happened was the U.S. and China decided to reduce their tariffs that they were going to go crazy on each other with.
Of course.
So before, the U.S. had tariffs on Chinese goods that were going to be at 145% of the original price. But instead, they decided to reduce that to 30% instead. Now, China has also decided to lower theirs as well. Rather than it be 125% tariff on U.S. goods, they've lowered it to 10%. Reasonable. We're reasonable. It's actually like we're right back at square one before they decided to have a whole big pissing contest, a whole whose dick is bigger contest. We were originally at these percentages, y'all. I want you to know that, okay? So so apparently can we also talk about how everybody said that this was going to happen if a woman was in charge, that they were going to get so emotional, that they were going to argue and go back and forth so much with each other that it was just going to throw the whole world into chaos because of their period or because of a disagreement. And I just want you guys to see, this is all dudes. This is all men going back and forth, having a pissing contest about whose tariff can be bigger.
I kind of think that they knew that. I think that this was this was what they were planning to do from the beginning. Okay. I genuinely believe that because he's been doing that in certain situations, like for TikTok, for example, right? TikTok's going to be banned. TikTok's going to be banned, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's not sold by this time. Then what happens? Bans it for what? A week? Not even?
No, like
brings
a day,
it back.
2 days.
Brings it back. Then it's like, he's like threatening other stuff. And then it's like, it's either not going through or he does it, but he doesn't stick to it and then he rescinds it. And again, to me, it's stock market manipulation. He's getting people rich off of these huge sways that people are thinking is going to happen. And then he's changing it all back. It's like a classic bait and switch, bitch. It's the bait and switch. He's doing this shit, and it's like, it's so like, I knew this shit was gonna fucking happen. I knew it because it's like it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was gonna happen like a little bit sooner, but they did do the whole like chicken,
a week,
2
weeks?
The whole chicken. Yeah, they did the whole. Yeah, they just did a whole standoff with each other for like a week or two. They finally like I think that China was kind of like, okay, like let's see, because like you said, in the past he would like change it with like the day before or like 2 days
extended
after.
Another 90 days or
exactly
whatever,
So I think China was kind of on this whole like, okay, well, he's been doing a whole lot of changing his mind last second, so let's just see. And so they continue to like ship things out. But at the time though, it was interesting because it was like we only had about like a month's worth of foreign goods already here that we could continue to sell, that we didn't have to pay the tax on or the tariff on just yet. So I think that's when the pressure came in, was when they realized that even like their backup grace period of 30 days was getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and it was like there is going to be like in a week us having to change all of that, you know what I mean? So I think that either you're right, like either he was always going to do this, or I really believe that both of them thought that someone was going to be
cave first.
Yeah, exactly. Someone was going to finally cave, and like nobody did, and so the both of them kind of had to come back and be like, this was unbeneficial for the both of us. We might need to
it's just the dumbest fucking
rethink some things. Yeah, so absolutely ridiculous. I mean, just because it definitely had a lot of people afraid of the prices, afraid to spend. Some people made big purchases because they were afraid that it was going to be exuberantly priced later. And so either way, it was just a whole lot of baiting and switching, okay? So the reductions right now are set for a 90-day period so that they can figure out what's going on. Apparently it's some type of trade truce that's going on between the two of them.
We'll see.
We shall see. Yeah. The agreement led to a surge in cargo bookings and positive reactions in global markets, which is good because, I mean, everybody was afraid to ship or buy anything, and I'm happy to see that, like, we are not going to, at this very moment, force ourselves into another situation that was kind of like remember like around COVID when like all the factories stopped, and like it seemed like everything was okay, but then we found out afterwards like how bad of a ripple effect that caused and how many delays we had. So I am glad to see that they didn't make it.
That they did it in the fucking first place for no fucking reason.
I agree. So. But I'm just glad that they didn't do it as long as I was expecting it to be, for sure. But I totally agree. I think that it's absolutely like manipulating the market, manipulating the consumer. I mean, it's just 100%. I don't think that it's okay, but I am thankful that my prices ain't going up just yet. And you know, and I don't know if anybody knows, but like I work at, so what I do for my day-to-day, I sell stuff on TikTok Shop, and I know for some people, like, they don't understand it. They think it's hokey or weird or whatever. I just want you to know, like, TikTok is creating millionaires, and if not millionaires, like 100,000-aires, or it is creating so many jobs and opportunity for people. And like, it's crazy that it's like almost like the new work from home job in a way. And I just would really feel so terrible for all the Americans. Not even just, you know, there's plenty of other people in the world who use TikTok for money. But especially the Americans who have found it to be a very, very resourceful tool for them. Like, I just would feel so terrible. And for me personally, and for so many other people who could be making money off of it. Like, there's so many, like, stay-at-home moms who are able to like completely change their families' lives with TikTok. There are entrepreneurs who had no clue what they were doing. They had no type of traffic before, and now they have an entire community thanks to TikTok. So I just you know, hope that stays, you know, the same, and I hope that we can figure something out. I really do. Yeah, with TikTok, with everything, with goods coming from China, period. Because like we were saying in our other episodes, the places that you guys shop, that we all shop, there's no way to not import something. Whether it is the product itself, it's pieces of the product, it is the machinery that manufactures the product, it's the boxing, it's the labeling. I mean, it's so many things. So that's the kind of stuff that we all have to be mindful of. Now, moving on to some other interesting things. Okay, so this one is like the thing that I feel like we should end on. I think it's hilarious. I think that this is the one time that I feel like we can look at politics and be like...
The one time and laugh? I think that's a lot of times.
No, but just like the one time that we can... Like, I can see the division between the parties. And normally I would be like, this is wrong. You're playing with people's lives, with their Medicare, with their money. This one was just funny because I was just like,
okay,
you guys are stupid as fuck. So Marjorie Taylor Greene was called out in a Doge subcommittee meeting for misrepresenting a photo of a witness. So U.S. fencing chairman Damien Lefelt, I knew I was going to say that wrong. I don't know if that's correct, but his name is spelled all types of weird. But he posted a selfie on Instagram before they had this meeting, in which he appeared in the photo that she represented. It showed that he was flipping, he was doing the bird. He was flipping the camera off. And it was him coming into the building, and it was to build up that he was going to the hearing, and it was about like keeping men out of women's sports. And at the top of it, his post, it was like an Instagram post of his, and it said like game day. So it was basically him like flipping off the camera, saying it's game on.
Okay.
She was like presenting it to everyone to be like, this is his attitude coming before our committee today. This is how he's gonna represent himself. You know what I mean? As in like, don't trust this man. He's gonna say whatever, do whatever. Like, this is my evidence, because he's flipping us off before he even got here, right? Girl, that is not what happened. So we need to definitely show the folks what actually happened.
Okay.
The top of her game. Clan Mom is now chairwoman of the Doge subcommittee. They had a meeting yesterday in which she used a clearly doctored photo that makes it seem like this guy who's in charge of U.S. fencing was giving the middle finger when, in fact, he was holding up two fingers.
Here displayed behind me is the post that Mr. Lefelt put up. Mr. Lefelt came in here today saying that this is game day.
One moment, a point of order, please,
You're
Madam
not.
Chair. Madam
Okay,
Chair, I have a point of order. The document that you have up behind you is a misrepresentation of the actual post. It appears that you're trying to misrepresent a witness here who you use subpoena powers against.
This is not Miss Stansbury. Miss Stansbury, this is not a point of order.
The actual picture.
Miss Stansbury, you're not recognized. Miss Stansbury, you're not recognized. Miss Stansbury.
One of those these days, that gavel's going to hit her in the head, and she'll be smarter for it. She will be better off.
You are not. This is not a point of order, Miss Stansbury. This is not a point of order.
What the committee does, you are misrepresenting the witnesses. You are misrepresenting policy. You are misrepresenting.
Miss Stansbury, you're not recognized. Did you feel you were in a safe environment, free from abuse, when you were told you must compete?
That really happened. That really happened in real life. That's what cracks me up, because I was like, is this an SNL skit? What the fuck is going on? That was hilarious.
She like turned around and was like, okay, come on. Alright, Miss Stansbury.
It was almost like she looked over like, they fucking got us this time. Like, wait a minute, bitch. You just got
like
called
you couldn't have
out.
released the original photo from the internet before you gave this to me.
What? It is, what cracks me up is she knows it's comical, like that it's ridiculous. I think it's amazing. I love that Representative Stansbury, though, did not back down.
I love that she
did not stop.
That is so fucking funny.
That is so genius. That is genius. And then to have it in the shot. Whoever was there that day, like, she
Politics
needs to be
crazy.
She needs to be on a comedy tour or something, because I was just like, what is this?
So funny.
It felt like almost an episode of what was it with Leslie Knope? Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
It
Yeah,
kind of felt like Parks and Rec.
Yeah, literally straight out of Parks and Rec.
Isn't that crazy though? But I just feel like so many people are gonna watch that video, and it's gonna go right over their heads that, like, Marjorie was clearly misrepresenting, clearly lying about a situation, and this is just a small example of what they always do with a lot of things.
They'll lie about small things, they'll lie about big things.
Yo, it's ridiculous. Like another thing is like, I cannot stand any photo evidence from Republicans. I can't do it no more. I can't fucking do it with you guys anymore. There was another hearing where the director of Homeland Security was brought up in front of some subcommittee, some fucking committee. I don't know at this point. There's so many damn committees. Basically, Homeland Security was being brought to the mat because they've been overspending. ICE has overspent their budget like by way too fucking much. They're saying that, like, Homeland Security is about to be bankrupt in July, if we're lucky. Like, it's bad. So she was brought down to the carpet, so to speak, to explain, why are you guys overspending? Why are you acting like you don't have a budget? Like, you need to explain these things. And what was interesting, though, they also wanted to have her attest to the fact that she is making sure that everyone has their due process before they're being deported. We've seen evidence to show there has not been due process for a lot of the people who have been deported so far. One of them being Kilmer Abrego Garcia. They brought actually the photo of that the president had posted, showing or of him trying to prove that Kilmer was a gang member.
MS-13, right?
Yeah. They brought that photo up because, again, the president tried to bring it up as like, this is the photo of the tattoos that gave us the evidence that he was a gang member. Thing though is, in the photo, it shows his knuckles, right? And it shows that he has tattoos on his knuckles. I just want you guys to know, though, it does not say MS-13. It actually has a marijuana leaf. It has a smiley face, and then it has some other things like a skull or a Roman's numeral or something like that. It doesn't say literally MS-13. What you're supposed to take from the image, though, is that they are telling you what they believe each one of those tattoos represent. So they have the actual photo of his knuckles with the real tattoos on it, and then they put in like Times New Roman, an M above the marijuana leaf, an S above the smiley face. So the MS-13 was not on his fingers.
It just looks like, so now people are like, oh, he literally had it tatted on his fingers when it's, gotcha.
It's not. And so the photo that they posted is misleading because it's your understanding of his tattoos.
Look, I have MS-13 too.
Right. I mean, all I don't know what's the K. What's killers? All killers
read.
Yeah, like all killers read.
I can read.
Yeah. So it could mean anything. You know what I mean? So it's also like it's definitely, it was already a little bit of a stretch, but then to also put the letters and the numbers above his fingers and then try and act as though that's what's there. So that's what everyone is like trying to understand. So they brought her to they brought it to her and they were like, okay, in this photo, what is really there? Like, did you guys Photoshop the M, the S, the 1, and the 3 into this photo to represent that that's what you believe his tattoo means? And she just will not answer that question without a doubt. All she says is that is our evidence that he is an MS-13 gang member. And he's like, no. I'm asking you, is this real? Is that there? Well, we use it as evidence. And he's like, that's not, he goes, and it's just back and forth. All this to just bring to a close that we have seen time and time again, Republicans have used photos and documents to misrepresent something, misrepresent some type of information that we're supposed to be using very seriously. I mean, so many times. So I just think this situation was funny with Marjorie getting called out so fast and so abruptly.
There's so many more serious examples of them.
Exactly, of probably not being able to, and us not being able to catch it, or the Democrats or whoever, the public, journalists, not being able to catch it soon enough before the lie goes out. Yeah. So that's the thing, is if she had really been able to finish her statement, that sound bite would have just been clipped right there, would have been sent out to the masses, and would have been like, look at this guy being a dickhead, he's our witness, da da da. You know what I mean? But now that there's actual context to it, we can put that whole narrative to bed before it even becomes bad. Yeah. But that's not the case with the majority of the things that we're coming up against. So yes, we're going to end off on a lighthearted note. I thought that was hilarious. I thought you guys would get a kick out of that too. But I just want us to be mindful that not everything that we see is really black and white. It's not set in stone. All that glitters is not fucking gold. Like, and just be fucking thankful for your simple ass fucking life. Be thankful for fact checkers. Be thankful for people who will tell it like it is. And I mean, I feel like that can be true for a majority of the stories that we talked about today. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So be safe out there, guys. Seriously, take care of yourself. Don't date a motherfucker with 1,000 red flags. Please. I don't care how much money he has. It is not worth selling your soul.
Most of them don't have any money.
Man, ain't that the truth. Ain't that the truth? And if they do, it's always some strings. Always. I want you to know, the ones with the money, they're usually the most emotional, the most petty, the most annoying, because they think that they can just buy everything.
People would deal with a lot more if they were getting something out of it.
So just be mindful out there. But thank you guys for watching Off the Record. Hope that you guys had a great time hanging out with us. Let us know if we missed anything. There was a lot of shit that went down, so I just tried to bring up the most eye-catching stuff that
that was good for me.
Okay, great. Good for me too. All right, bitches, we'll see you on the next one. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.